I gotta ask one quick question. And the reason for this is because it bugged me throughout the entirety of this episode of Arslan. Arslan Season 2, Episode 2. I saw some of this happening in the first episode, but it wasn't nothing major. But I noticed it big time in this episode, and I gotta talk about it, because I don't know if it was just me, or if it was everyone else. I have no fucking idea, so I gotta ask. So, was I the only one that had audio problems with this episode? Like, legit, the voices were low as fuck. Like, if I was Japanese, okay, and I didn't have subtitles there, I wouldn't have known what the fuck they were saying. It was literally so low, you couldn't even make out the voices. Like, you could know they're talking, kind of hear it, but you couldn't make out what they were really even saying in Japanese, which I was like, what the fuck is going on with the voices? Because the sound effects and the music were loud as fuck, dude. They were really loud, the sound effects and music. I mean, I heard those completely fine, but when it came to the voices, around, like, I guess 8 minutes into the remaining part of the episode, it was completely low. Like, the audio of the voices were way too low, and I couldn't really hear them throughout the entirety of the episode because there was just so much music going on. So, I need to ask, was that just my video, or was everyone experiencing that? Because, honestly, I hope it's just me. Well, in a way, I don't, because that would mean that there's something wrong with my computer, my audio, and all that, and maybe my drivers. But, anyways, I do hope it's actually me, because if it's the anime, that's not good. That's not good. That's actually an editing issue. Now, I'm going to admit, I make mistakes. And the people that make this, you know, they're human as well. They can make mistakes. That happens. That's common things that humans do. So I can understand they make mistakes. But the main thing is that worries me about this and why I don't want it to be a mistake is because this is a professional company that, you know, made Arslan. They made the anime. And an audio issue like that, how do you fuck that up like that bad? I just don't even know. Like, holy fuck. Like, how does that even happen? Because according to my understanding, they're supposed to watch it, make sure everything is fine after they're done, you know, making the episode. So, what happened? What the fuck happened? So, like I said, I hope that it's just me, and it's not the episode. Now, if it is the episode, we have a whole heap of problems to discuss. But I don't know. I'll wait till you guys comment down below, and I'll, you know, answer you guys to see what's really going on here. So, enough of that. Let's talk about this episode of Arslan. So, that ending. The king. What an ass. What an asshole. What an asshole to do that to Arslan. That's pretty fucked. That really is. I mean, Arslan goes through all this trouble throughout the entirety of Season 1, and after going through all this effort to build up an army, build a force to save his own father, the king, and then take back the capital city, his father walks up to him, takes the throne seat, like he's just sitting down, and he's like, "You're fucking exiled. Get the hell out of here." And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is your fucking son. Like, maybe it's not your actual real son, it's kind of been implied, but still, like, what the fuck, man? That's not right. I mean, after all this, after all he's trying to do to save your ass, you just exile him like that? Like, what the fuck? So, that was very freaking crusty. I don't even know what to think about, you know, that entire scene. I mean, well, actually, I do. I mean, I feel like the king is an asshole, because, I mean, he's a badass, he's a savage after what he was doing in this episode, like at the beginning, just stabbing soldiers and bringing them up with his damn spear, badass stuff, but still, just seeing what he did to Arslan, that was a dick move. Yeah, that was a big dick move. Probably the biggest dick move of the entirety of this year, I think. So far, one of the top 5 biggest dick moves, because that right there is kind of fucked. After what Arslan's been through, when that happens, just like, what the hell? What's wrong with you? Okay, so we have a big fight going on this episode, and besides the audio issue, however, the music and sound effects, wow, beautiful, beautiful. I love the music and sound effects. That shit was very nice. I like hearing the swords clang, 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 because since I wasn't actually hearing the voices, I was able to kind of focus in on the sound effects and stuff, which is kind of a rarity, and I love the clanging of swords and stuff, hearing the sound effects of the horses galloping. It was a really nice touch to the episode, and I probably wouldn't have noticed it if it wasn't for, you know, the voice issue, but it was still a very nice touch, and I did like seeing that type of stuff added into this episode. And the music, oh my god, I love the music. Oh my god, it is such a good soundtrack, especially for war, especially when you see, you know, how Arslan is charging with his horse, and when you see how they're retreating. It was a very good scene, a well-executed scene, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, this episode definitely had the, I guess, the music the sound effects going for it, the art. Art was good for the most part, besides obviously the CGI, which that's one of the biggest things about Arslan, but I can't ignore because Arslan has a very good story, and so yeah, like I said, I will ignore that for the most part. But yeah, the episode was a good episode. In general, it was a very good episode. I like seeing Arslan taking his own path with what he wanted to do, and how he defeated the army. I like that, but if there's one complaint I have, one complaint that really bugs me, and this is not something brand new, this didn't come out of nowhere, and I've actually complained about this before in the past, and I will talk about it now. And if you watched my Season 1 reviews, most likely you know what I'm about to say. But Narcissus, he's so OP. I've said it in the past, he's broken, he's hacked, he's a man that just needs to be nerfed. Because this man, he knows everything. He knows way too much. He's like the god of this series. He knows what the enemies are going to do. Like, you think you know what's going to happen. Like, let's say you're the enemy. You're like, okay, I plan 2 steps ahead of my enemy. I've planned ahead of Narcissus, 2 steps ahead. Narcissus comes around and is like, fuck you. No, I planned a step ahead of you and then more steps ahead of you. And just Narcissus is just so broken and OP. He literally makes the threat of the series kind of down. Because he just can always get out of anything. I mean, he managed to make the army fight itself. The enemy actually fight itself. And I'm like, yo, just Narcissus, you need a fucking nerf. You need some failure. I mean, he needs to fail. One day, I would love to see him fail. So, overall, besides that, it was a good episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.